My name is Jeffrey Lewis. I'm glad to be back in Birmingham. I have actually a question because we recently did a UK tour and we played in Birmingham, England, and over there they're pretty insistent that we're supposed to say Birmingham, like no H involved, Birmingham, like no ham, like just a vegetarian version, just Birmingham. How would you say it here? Would that be correct here? No.
We're all about the ham.
Birmingham. Yeah? Okay. Got it, because they really made me fearful of pronouncing the ham when I was in England, but now it's okay to say I'm back in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
You don't even have to say Birmingham. You can just call it the ham.
The ham.
The ham.
The ham.
Okay. This song relates to a certain phrase that I thought was kind of universally known, but maybe requires a little explanation. Like when you're good at gardening, they say you have a green thumb. That's like, I figure that's kind of a common phrase. And then they say if you're bad at gardening, you have a black thumb, like if you're bad with plants. So this song is about which kind of thumb I have. Black thumb, my plants are crying, got a black thumb. My plants are dying, am I so dumb? I can't just keep them going, cause my black thumb kills anything that's growing. Well, it's not much a happy plant is needing, just the sun's touch, some watering and feeding, just a nice spot just at the window curtain. Give my best shot till planticide is certain. Though they start so green and blooming, they got bought by the wrong human with a black thumb. My hand is just encumbered by this black thumb. Their leafy days are numbered and it's no fun to toss them in the compost, but this black thumb is what the plants all fear most, and I could choose to prune them and repot them, but it's no use. The Grim Reaper has got them, so I buy more and hope that they'll redeem me at the plant store. They shiver when they see me. Yeah, this guitar player and singer hides a killer in his finger. It's a black thumb. I beg a pedal's pardon. Meet the black thumb, the Nazi of the garden. Like a bad cop, I'm on him like a rock slide, and I don't stop till they got no carbon dioxide. A voice inside tells me to kill. At the first sight of chlorophyll, I got a black thumb. There's no plant I don't mow down. Even pond scum says that I am low down, cause my black thumb kills any shoot that comes up, and that's how come I'm reviewed with 2 black thumbs up. Just like the wickedest man on earth, Aleister Crowley said to his petunias, do as thou wilt. I don't know if it's possible to get more vocal in the monitors, but just push it till it's as pushed as it gets. Without 3 of them, I don't know how my life has got here. I'd do anything to just be not here. I know it's my fault I can't sleep, my fault I let her cut so deep. If I was smart, I'd be so tough, but since I'm dumb, I need this stuff. I need those Tylenol PM. Can't sleep now without me and them. I loved her more than I knew how, but it's for sure I've lost her now. These days I can't take it calmly, but these nights have no mercy on me. Each time I've tried, I've really lost it, and I just can't survive being this exhausted. So give me Tylenol PM. I won't get through now without them. I know too many pills is bad, but it's less safe to feel this sad. So may dark slumbers grab and hold me, far from what my partner told me, far from memories and thought, just close to this small jar I bought of sweet blue Tylenol PM. I hate endorsing brands like them, but see, depression and debasement has got me doing product placement. It's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and I'll get through the night for sure. No wife, no kid, no life at all. Now all I've got is Tylenol. There's cowboy trucker songs for speed. There's Cube for booze, there's Snoop for weed. There's Prodigy with ketamine. There's Kale and Reed with heroin. Hunter S. had ibogaine. There's Reverend Davis, sweet cocaine. But how can I get great like them? I just take Tylenol PM. I need her silver thoughts and tears. I need her golden arms and ears. I need her diamond laugh and smile, not cheap crap from the aspirin aisle. I wish I may, I wish I might. I wish upon the candlelight. I wish upon a whiskey jar. I wish upon a Ringo Starr and Charlie Watts and Brian Jones. I wish on all the Rolling Stones. I wish on all the violent femmes. I wish on Tylenol PMs. God gave Jews a good head start, made some Jews hot and some Jews smart. God gave some Jews Jerusalem, but just gave me Tylenol PM. And I need those Tylenol PM. I won't get through now without them. I loved her more than I knew how, but it's for sure I've lost her now. It's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, then I'll get through the night for sure. No home, no heart, no hope at all. Now all I've got is Tylenol. Thanks. Well, this is a song we like to play on Monday nights. Thanks for coming out on a Monday night.
Roll bus roll, take me off. A rolled sweatshirt makes the window soft. If I fall asleep, don't wake me up. Roll bus roll, take me up.
Midnight coming on a Monday night. I'm gonna go again because I don't feel right. Quick pack, knapsack, quick snack, quick train. 42nd Street, Greyhound again.
Roll bus roll, the windows off. If I fall asleep, don't wake me up. Roll, bus, roll, take me up.
Old bodegas and old streetlights. Harlem looks so warm tonight. All those cheap desserts, memory hurts, I could die. Gotta take 2 Benadryls and close my eyes.
Roll, bus, roll, take me off. A rolled sweatshirt makes the windows off. If I fall asleep, don't wake me up. Roll, bus, roll, take me up.
I wasn't designed to move so fast. I wasn't designed to have so much past. And in my mind's eye, they all have so much fun. Nowhere to hide and nowhere to run. And then the sun setting on my youth makes that old shadow get taller. But it's all fine as long as the bus makes the city behind me get smaller and smaller.
Roll, bus, roll, take me off. A rolled sweatshirt makes the windows off. If I fall asleep, don't wake me up. Roll, bus, roll, take me up.
2 weeks out in the country and 2 weeks in town. Another $100 of medication down. Another sorry message that I need to send. And another situation that'll have to end.
And midnight coming on a Monday night.
I'm gonna go again, it might not be alright. It's a bitter pill, but it's still the same. 42nd Street, Green Alley Gang. And if I get one seat, I'll open the window. And if I get 2 seats, I'll just lie down. But if I get one seat, then it's just the aisle. I'll slowly asleep before the 100th mile. And then inside some kind of dream. And inside that some kind of me. And outside us rolls the bus, and the time will go by. So inside me, I am asleep. And roll, bus, roll, take me off. A rolled sweatshirt makes the windows soft. If I fall asleep, don't wake me up. Roll, bus, roll, take me up. Well, if that's a song we like to always do on Mondays, this is a thing I always like to do on Sundays, but I forgot to do it yesterday, so we'll do it tonight. This is one of my low-budget films that I'll show you on the screen here. All of these films made on a very low budget, approximately the price of 1.5 boxes of crayons. Okay, so the first low-budget film of the evening is this one. As I wandered across the land, One Sunday I found a hand lying in a cornfield in a tangle. As red as the devil's it was, but it was severed, its crimson fingers stiff as if with anger. I kicked it with my toe, and it sprang to life, you know. It crawled like a red spider a few inches. It pointed to the east, as if to say, take me there, please. But I thought, don't pick it up, what if it pinches? So I grabbed it in a net from as far away as I could get, and off to the east we went, me and this creature. And when a road came into sight, its thumb went up and hitched a ride on a school bus full of Sunday school nun teachers. But when they got a closer look, they all grasped their holy books and said, that hand is obviously Satan's. So before we lost our lift, I implored them all like this: the hand is red, but what you said is quite mistaken. This is just a case of finding a new species unknown to science. To just crush it or to kill it would be stupid. But up one old hag thundered and said, since I was outnumbered, the hand would have to die and she would do it. Down came her heavy book, and blam, the hand was squished, like a giant cockroach and totally disgusting. Just like it was spring-loaded, bones, knuckles, and gunk exploded, and they all clapped at this supposed act of justice. But just then there came a fuss from the driver of the bus, and we screeched to a dusty stop right there and then. And when the dust had cleared, we sobbed to see a monster like a blob. How many arms had it? 11, and hands 10. What happened next I won't replay, but suffice it all to say, when it was done, the beast and I alone were left to stand. It took a bus seat from the junk and attached it to its stump, so I'd become, excuse the pun, its hired hand. And the pay was pretty sweet. I had a house and food to eat, and all I had to do was help it murder people. Thanks. Well, we'll probably try showing another low-budget film a little later. You're by yourself in the kitchen. What's the point of all that shopping and cooking? Sitting and eating and cleaning. So much to do just to eat by yourself. And when you're by yourself in a restaurant, and you take off your backpack and your jacket, you put them on the seat next to you when you're by yourself, when you're by yourself. And when you get up to go to the bathroom, you can't leave your stuff, you have to take it. You have to take your backpack and your jacket with you in the bathroom of the restaurant when you're by yourself. And the waitress sees you get up. She sees you take your backpack and your jacket. You have to tell her you're just going to the bathroom. You're not dashing out, it's just that you're by yourself. And she asks if you're finished with that place. And she says, you can leave your stuff here. You say it's okay, 'cause you've already got it. And you say, leave that, I might still eat a little more. And when you're by yourself, walking after, and you could go home, or you could keep walking. There's no reason not to keep walking. There's no reason when you're by yourself. Here's an old song, one of the first songs that I made up, really. This was back when I was realizing that, all you have to do to make up songs is write about the most intense, most horrible, terrible, depressing experiences that you've ever had. So here was me sitting and thinking, what is the deepest, darkest thing that I can think of to make a song about? So this song is called The Last Time I Did Acid, I Went Insane. Well, it was a night in July, a long, long time ago. Why'd I eat the acid? I don't know. I wasn't thinking and I wasn't scared. Why'd I eat the acid? I wasn't prepared. The last time I did acid, I went insane. I was hanging out with some friends, just getting loaded, when all of a sudden my mind exploded. I realized I was gay and I got paranoid. I was sitting on the floor listening to Pink Floyd. The last time I did acid, I went insane. And I was drawing crazy pictures, and before I was done, the picture started pulsing like an alien lung, and I said, oh my God, this has just begun. And it was 12 more hours before I was done, and we were up on the rooftop, and I'll tell you the truth, I was convinced I'd already fallen off of the roof, and these weird metal things all around that space, they were teleporting me from place to place. The last time I did acid, I went insane. So we ran back downstairs where it was better to be, but I was trapped in spiral staircase infinity. And when we got to the door, I couldn't go inside, 'cause it was the gates of heaven and I had died. The last time I did acid, I went insane. And this kid named Grim, he punched a cat in the head. He could read my thoughts, that's what he said, and he described what it was like, but I didn't believe it, like lifting a rug and seeing stars beneath it. And the first rule of tripping was, don't be with people you don't trust. The second rule of LSD, the rooftop is not a good place to be. The third rule is to be prepared. The fourth rule is to not get scared. The fifth rule is to stay serene. Turn off your mind and float downstream. The sixth rule is to have a good friend at hand. The seventh rule, I hope you understand, is not to look too deep into your soul, or you might find a hideous, hopeless hole of hatred, hunger, infinite, idiot, mindless, meaningless, nothingness, 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 nothingness. And that's what I did. And every aspect of life that I selected was instantly and brutally dissected. I saw a horrible emptiness within, the reasons behind everything. And it was at that moment that I went insane. 'Cause I started thinking about all kinds of deep, grandiose, philosophical, angles that I could apply to human existence and human consciousness, because as a teenager, see, I thought that doing acid was like something very serious, and that I wasn't like doing this in some kind of foolish, fun way. No, I would do these things because I was some kind of very serious, literate, beat, bohemian type philosophical teenage character, and I thought, you know, I should ponder the deep meaning of existence. And but see, unfortunately, on this occasion, I did actually discover the meaning of life, and it was like a horrible realization. And if only I had just not taken it seriously, if only I was just like, oh boy, fun, let's just get wasted on acid and have a good time like all the other people that I knew, maybe I would have had a good time instead of making horrible realizations like the meaning of life. And in fact, the horrible meaning of life was so horrible that I felt as though I couldn't even tell anybody about it, because I felt like, man, if everybody else knew the meaning of life and knew that it was as horrible as I've realized it to be, then their life will be destroyed just like my life has been destroyed. So it's now my responsibility to keep it to myself and have to never tell anybody ever. That's a heavy responsibility for a 16-year-old to have to carry. But here I am, 30 years later. The world has not yet been destroyed, so I must have done a good job keeping this to myself. And also, another very important thing that I realized on that evening was that people like me just shouldn't do acid. So that was the last time. Thanks. Well, while we have the screen here, we're going to take this opportunity to do a special presentation for you. Okay, so this is a special presentation that we like to call A Complete History of the Development of Punk Rock on New York's Lower East Side from 1950 to 1975. Well, we start with Harry Smith in 1950, a beatnik weirdo living in New York City. His huge collections were insane of Easter eggs and paper airplanes and rare records. He had about 1,060,000. To change America through music was his hope, and to make some money because he was broke, he compiled a triple-decker collection of songs from his records, released as the Smithsonian Anthology of American Folk. On a Monday morning, just about 9 o'clock, the great ship Titanic began to reel and rock. Husbands and wives, little children lost their lives. Wasn't it sad when that great ship went down? Smith's plan began to work as foretold. This weird music began to take hold. It sparked an interest in these forms of life underground from the norms, and soon millions of folk records were being sold. So by the early 60s, Joan Baez, Bob Dylan, Phil Oakes were all very inspired by those old folks. Then one strange duo of downtowners called the Holy Modal Rounders began to make it more anarchistic with weird voices and drug jokes. Mom's out there, switching in the kitchen, and Dad's in the living room, grousing and a bitchin'. I'm out here, kicking the gong for euphoria, euphoria. When your mind starts reeling and a-walking, your inside voices start squealing and squawking, floating around on a belladonna cloud, singing euphoria. That was 1964. Then in 1965, Lou Reed and John Cale in a Ludlow Street dive recorded a similar musical spin, sounding a bit like the Rounders' acoustic and violin, with even more New York street drug jive. Hey white boy, what you doing uptown? Hey white boy, you chasing our women around?
Pardon me, sir, nothing could be further from my mind. I'm just waiting for a dear, dear friend of mine.
I'm waiting for the man. A little earlier in 1960, 1965, the Holy Modal Rounders met some other intellectual thugs on East 10th Street who called themselves the Fugs.
Yeah.
The Fugs were recorded by that same Harry Smith, playing the punkiest songs yet to exist. Lo-fi, noisy stuff about poetry, sex, and drugs. I don't have a bedtime, I don't need to come, for I have become an amphetamine bum. If you don't like sleeping and don't want to screw, then you should take lots of amphetamines too. Harry Smith recorded 2 Fug sessions, including Tuli Kupferberg's great song, Nothing. A Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday and Thursday, nothing. Friday for a change, a little more nothing. Saturday, once more nothing. Fucking nothing. Sucking nothing. Flesh and sex, nothing. The world's great books are a great set of nothing. Social anthropology, nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. Lots of it.
Not a
Nothing.
goddamn
Nothing.
thing.
The Fugs were real poets with real topics to speak out, and through the new underground scene, this weird music could leak out, beginning the punk idea that anybody could do it without needing much musical ability to it, and this new crazy music was soon labeled freak out. In 1966, the Fugs signed to New York label ESP. The same label put out a freak out band called The Gods, spelled with a Z. The Gods accomplished the feat of making even the Fugs music sound sweet, with the least musical folk punk racket in history. Meow! 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 It really sounded exactly like that. Far from the West Coast hippie scene, New York's underground music was far from mainstream. It was intellectual, but noisy and hectic, and then the Velvet Underground went electric and made folk punk more beautiful and more extreme. I'm waiting for my man. My $26 in my hand. Up to less than 10, 1, 2, 5. Feel sick and dirty, more dead than alive. I'm waiting for my man. I'll walk it home. Nothing could stop New York's strange folk punk tide. In 1968 came David Peel and the Lower East Side. They recorded an album out in the street, screaming and sloppy. Danny Field signed them to Elektra Records, and it sold a lot of copies, with songs like I Like Marijuana and Up Against the Wall, Motherfucker, inside. Mother, oh, where is my father? Oh, where is my brother? Oh, they're at war. Oh, they're at war. You made them join the dirty U.S. Army. You told them all a filthy white lie. You gave them all the bullshit and baloney. And now my brother and my father gonna have to die. And the Stooges were a freak-out band in Detroit, but folks ignored them until Danny Fields brought them to New York and had John Cale of the Velvets record them. While most acid rock was turning into progressive, the Stooges instead pushed the raw and aggressive, and Iggy Pop sang about degradation and boredom. All right. Well, it's 1969, okay. War across the USA. It's another year for me and you. It's another year with nothing to do. It's another year for me and you. Another year with nothing to do. Well, it's 1969, baby. Well, it's 1969, baby. 1970, David Peel's second album came with some amazing songs and some a little lame. In most pre-punk histories, David Peel is forgot just because he was a hippie singing lots of songs about pot. But his second album is the first album with the real sound that electric punk rock soon became. We are from the Lower East Side. We don't give a damn if we live or die. We are from the Lower East Side. We don't give a damn if we live or die. And even though it was a few years before this was something the Clash would also later do, this album had a song that mixed punk with reggae, the great song I Want to Kill You. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's called the people of the future generation. You're called the people in a world of aggravation. You're called the people in a life of demonstration. We got to change the world before annihilation. Gonna get a rifle and I'm gonna get a gun. I'm out to kill you and I'll have a little fun. To murder you, I'm going to attack. I am out to kill you, you're the monkey on my back. Oh, I want to kill you. Kill, kill, kill. I want to kill you. Kill, kill, kill. Well, in 1971, Lester Bangs first writes the word punk to describe 60s enthusiastic teenage rock junk. In 1972, New Yorker Lenny Kaye puts out the 60s garage rock comp Nuggets and coins the phrase punk rock in the liner notes of it, although punk rock would soon come to mean something different from the 60s pop songs that Lester and Lenny thunk. Like this one. Well, I feel depressed, I feel so bad, 'cause you're the best girl that I've ever had. I can't get your love, I can't get affection. Oh, little girl, psychotic reaction. And I feel like this. Well, Lenny Kaye was also a guitarist, and he began playing music with an East Side poet named Patti Smith, who would use it to mix her wild poetry with simple rock stuff, like the Fugs in a way, but less rough, a postmodern way to take high art and low art and fuse it.
But not mine. Gloria,
Around 1972-73 is when the New York Dolls start mixing trash and drag fashion with the rock and roll heart. The Johnny Thunders, David Johansen sound mixed the old style simple rock with the new New York underground and sort of defined the moment when Stupid on Purpose became the new smart. Of New York began punk fashion as well, with spiked hair and ripped clothes worn by the poet Richard Hell. Hell was in television, the Neon Boys, the Heartbreakers, the Voidoids, and he wrote the song that gave the new 70s punk generation its first anthem yell. I was screaming, get me out of here, before I was even born. It's such a gamble when you get a face. It's fascinating to observe what the mirror does, but when I die, and it's for the wall that I set a place that I belong. the blank generation, but I can take it or leave it each time. Yeah, I belong to the generation, but I can take it or leave it each time. On 74, 75, CBGB starts having punk shows with television, Patti Smith, and the Ramones. 76, punk fanzine began. Then the whole thing moved to England. England stole all the credit, and that's how it goes. The end. Complete history of the developing of punk on New York's Lower East Side, 1950 to 1975.
That was awesome.
All right, now back to our show. In the air with people going somewhere and voices on the radio dial, and all the signs pointing towards awesome times, and the messages signed off of files. I woke up on time and the shower was fine. My exercise is getting better with practice. I can stand on the scale, drop the bills in the mail, and walk out while suffocating in blackness. So I must be out of my mind because everything's fine, except for the fact that it isn't. I must be out of my mind because everything's fine, except for the fact that it isn't. All the trees shake and fly, tossing leaves in the sky. A squirrel stops eating and sees me. Then he's eating again because he sees I'm a friend, and he knows he can just take it easy. And the morning returns and the steamroller churns till the highway is straight and flattened, and the sun comes and dangles in warm happy angles, and I wake up and wish that I hadn't. So I must be out of my mind because everything's fine, except for the fact that it isn't. I must be out of my mind because everything's fine, except for the fact that it isn't. Isabel Martin on bass. I can work on some stuff, I can stress when it's tough, I can make a to-do list and do it. At the end of the day, I can sit back and say that's one less, and at least I got through it. And there's a roof and a floor, and there's walls and a door, and there's a table and chair and a bed. So I must be okay, but how come every day I wake up and I wish I was dead? I must be out of my mind because everything's fine, except for the fact that it isn't. I must be out of my mind because everything's fine, except for the fact that it isn't.
Nothing's wrong. What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong.
What's wrong with you? If I had a girl on 9th Avenue, I know exactly what she would do. She would wander around, hang out with the guys, find someone who's read more books and has bluer eyes. Then she'd leave me and I'd walk back east alone. 9 7th Avenue, now I'm crossing Madison, sobbing on Park Avenue, feeling bad on Lexington. 3-2 First Avenue, going east with the wind. cross the FDR to the East River, and fall right in. If I had a girl on 10th Avenue, I know exactly what she would do. She would wander around, hang out with the folks, find someone better looking, who tells better jokes, then she'd leave me and I'd walk back east alone. 987th Avenue, now I'm crossing Madison, sobbing on Park Avenue, feeling bad on Lexington. 321st Avenue, going east with the wind, cross the FDR to the East River, and fall right in. And if I had a girl on 11th Avenue, I know exactly what she would do. She would wander around, hang out at the bar, find someone who draws better and plays better guitar, and then she'd leave me and I'd walk back east alone. 987th Avenue, now I'm crossing Madison, sobbing on Park Avenue, feeling bad on Lexington. 321st Avenue, going east with the wind, cross the FDR to the East River, and throw myself in until the scum in the East River would drown me. The phlegm and rotten rats would surround me, the shattered cars at the bottom all around me, until I was just more scum in the East River. And when I become the scum, it'll be my job to drown all the pathetic hopes and failures of the next unloved clown. Though maybe it would be a girl and we could become scum together, decompose as the river flows and become one forever, become one scum together, one bloated, rotten, putrid scum forever. 987th Avenue, now I'm crossing Madison, sobbing on Park Avenue, feeling bad on Lexington. 321st Avenue, going east with the wind, cross the FDR to the East River, and fall right in. All time for a special action adventure film.
Oh, yes.
Alright, well, this is the story of Champion Jim, and it goes like this. Champion Jim, he was a man, look you in the eye and shake your hand. Many men were proud to be his friend. He was a well-liked man, Champion Jim. Champion Jim, he had a shack. He built it by the sweat of his own back. I'll bet it stands up there till the world ends. He always did his best, Champion Jim. Champion Jim, he played guitar. People came to hear him from afar. The girls would tremble just to hear him sing. He played and he sang, Champion Jim. Well, Champion Jim had one enemy, a giant goon named Samuel Celery. They had had a lifelong feud since they were 9 or 10. Sam Celery and Champion Jim. Well, Champion Jim was whittling with his knife, and Sam snuck up behind to take his life. He shot a bullet that went right through his bone and skin, and it landed in the heart of Champion Jim. He was so good, he carved himself a brand new heart made out of wood. He whittled it down and he hammered it right in, just in the nick of time, Champion Jim. sleeping in his bed. Sam snuck in and sawed off both his arms and legs, rolled him to the lake and tossed him in, to sink deep down to the bottom. Champion Jim. Champion Jim was as good as dead, Sam thought. Without his legs, he couldn't kick like he ought. And without arms, it would be difficult to swim. And so Sam bid adieu to Champion Jim. But Champion Jim, he wasn't done. He paddled back to shore just with his tongue. He lay in the sun until he was dry again. And he was almost as good as new, Champion Jim. Oh, Champion Jim had to slightly change his style, but he learned how to play guitar just with his smile. And he could do most of the farm work with his chin. And he did even better than before, Champion Jim. Thanks, we'll do a couple more. That's Mallory Foyer of the Grasping Straws on the keyboard and violin. That's Isabel Martin on the bass. That's Brent Cole on the drums. Stared at us and we stared back at them. My baby freaked when she peeked at that eight-legged blob with a beak. She was too scared to speak. I said, don't be upset, it's only an octopus. Don't bother it, and I'm sure it won't bother us. Please don't be upset, my darling, please don't get upset. My baby came riding to meet me one time on the crowded last car of the downtown bound 9. She was brave, but she caved when the train was delayed. It was just the last straw in her hard, busy day. I said, don't be upset, 'cause it's not a catastrophe. Nothing will happen, and soon you'll be back with me. Please don't be upset, my darling, please don't get upset. My gal's got a headache, her ankle is hurting too. The boots she bought gave her a rash, and her wisdom tooth is coming in. And it's damp out, and she's having cramps, and she's so mad at me 'cause I didn't shave. I said, don't be upset, I know you're feeling sensitive. I'll try to be kinder and be more attentive. Please don't be upset, my darling, please don't get upset. Darling, I said, I'm gonna be 40 soon. I've only got rejection letters and a sense of impending doom. And I think it's too late for me. All the comic book companies hate me, and I try, but it's always the same. I guess my art is just lame, and it's strange, but still somehow I'm always not suiting their needs at this time. And she said, don't be upset, you know that you're wonderful. Just keep on trying, and eventually I'm sure that you'll... Well, no. It would have been nice if she said something like that, but really what she said was more like this. All you ever want to talk about is yourself and your comic books and your album and your tour. And every time I see your stupid friends, they just ask me where you are again. And it hurts, it makes me feel like dirt. I'm just going to write where you are on my shirt. And I said, don't be upset, I'll do anything, baby, just don't be upset. Does it make you confused? Like how could you become as awesome as you are and still feel like a loser? When you feel ugly and petty, awkward and unsteady, just try not to forget there's so many folks who have liked you. That the art school enjoys your big drawing of ruin. We've all got good things to do, and it's good when we do them. From Austin to Brooklyn, they're all smart and good looking. We're all parts of an alphabet. We spell new words with new folks we met. And the big round blue boat drifts around in the dark. And the big round blue boat drifts around in the dark. And they say that we'll drift for a while till we die in the sun. It's a spiral, it's a combination lock. I'm just hoping that I'll get it open, and that these joys and frustrations are just turns in the combination. And we'll do one more. Thanks a lot to the Firehouse. Thanks to Austin. Thanks to Stuart and everybody that helped make this happen. And thanks for hanging out on a Monday and making our return to Birmingham. Great. We love the ham. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, we have comic books and CDs and shirts, records. Please sign our email list. And I guess Slack Times and Beer Sippers didn't bring any merchandise, but I'm sure they have things out there in the world, Bandcamp, other places to find them, so they were awesome, and I look forward to hearing them some more. We're Jeffrey Lewis and The Voltage.
Oh, yeah.
Relaxation is my nemesis. I'm not a nihilist, it's just how I exist. Relaxation's a destroying choice in which I have no voice, and I avoid like poison, because relaxation's not a motivation, it's disintegration, it's annihilation. An evil twin I'm not believing in, and I'm not giving in, cause it's oblivion. Relaxation is just television where they sell a vision. That's not my decision. Relaxation isn't in my interest to be gone in splinters like atomic winters. Cause if I relax, you slit me with an axe. You hold me off your back, that lasts an hour max. If I dare slow down before I turn around, you'd hold me through the ground. I'd have no face or sound. So relaxation's not a nice vacation. It's the swift invasion. Force the world's impatient, for it's not my friend, just my brutal end. And I cannot give in, cause it's oblivion. Relaxation is the prize they offer. Then they pry me off and hide me in a coffin. Because relaxation means you'd all be leaving. I'd be hurt and freezing, murdered for no reason. Relaxation's just a worm they bait me with to earn the faithlessness they burn to hate me with. If I no sweating, you'd make sure I'm getting just some last bloodletting, then a fast beheading. And I tumble quickly and I cry out sickly, but you'd all be gone before the lights came on. It's a fatal sin, the way it's always been, so I cannot give in, cause it's oblivion. If I relax the shield and left my back revealed, you'd split me right in half. You'd spill my guts and laugh, so I'd be dead and crazy. Though you said I'm crazy, it'd be suicide. You know it's true inside. So relaxation's not a nice vacation when the world's just waiting for your violation. And evil's when I'm not believing in, and can't be living in, so I'm giving in. It's not what I'd intend, I'd lie if I pretend. So though I'll never win, whichever rides begin, roll my eyes again and guard my sides again. Relaxing makes me tense because it's violence. That's why relaxation is my nemesis. Not a retired list, it's not how I exist. Relaxation's not a motivation, it's disintegration, it's annihilation. It's not anything but where the end begins, and I cannot give in, cause it's oblivion. It'd be suicide, I know it's true inside, so I cannot give in, cause it's oblivion. was 4, and I knew the name of every dinosaur. I learned how to read rom-comic books. My babysitter said I was really smart. When the lights went out, everything changed. The radio music made me feel strange, and I had a real bad dream about a gorilla in the bathroom. And back when I was 6, I would take everything real serious, and I thought that every song that came on the radio was referring to strange sexual acts, because they thought I wouldn't know the facts, and being small is hard and no one ever tells you how. And back when I was 8, I would sit outside on an old milk crate and look out at the world from the stoop across the street. The boom boxes and the hot concrete, and every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons across 9th Street. And back when I was 12 or so, I swear to God I never felt so low. Everyone but me was making out and eating cookies. I had more than my brain could stand. I threw my life in a garbage can. I felt so weird I had to disappear in crying suicide disease. And at 15 getting stoned felt good, and it sent me back to childhood. And nothing ever mattered to me more than that. But then 16 became eclipse, my brain became apocalypse. I was lost and found, and I've never been the same. And back when I was 22, I left the best thing that I knew, and I gave it up for fortune and for fame. And I played like I didn't know how. I shocked the world, I wowed the crowd, but I thought I deserved more than what they gave. And then back when I was 27, still nothing had been forgiven. Clay turns into rock, and rock just sits. So sitting on a crowded beach, I'd pretend I was a leech, and I'd stick to things here and there for a little bit. And back when I was 31, I knew I'd become what I'd become. Nothing left to reveal, and there was nowhere else to turn. So shocked and withered, dumb and bitter, and in need of a babysitter, I'd gladly let my hand fall off and burn, burn, burn. But back when I turned the big 4-0, I realized just how much there was to go. I started to think being alone forever wasn't where it was at. So I took my head out of the window and taught myself how to love real fast. I started talking about painting with a woman in a laundromat. And back when I was 50 and my first wife had just left me, I felt okay, and I sang my daughter funny little songs. And just when I thought the best was past, I fell in love for real at last, and it didn't even matter that it had taken me so long. And back when I was 63, the public rediscovered me. My comic books and albums had all become rare cult collector items, and both my parents were deceased, so they didn't see my records get re-released, and I got a dog for the first time in my life. And back when I was 74, my dog died, and I got 2 more. I still felt really good about my daughter and also about my girlfriend, and I would sing and draw a little bit, but mostly I would just wake up early and sit and hang out with the puppies and wish that I could live forever. And back when I was 87 and my grandson had just turned 11, my woman was dead and my dogs were getting pretty old. My body didn't work quite like it should, but overall things were pretty good, and I was getting decent royalties from the reissued comic books and records. And then back when I was 106, my only friend was one goldfish. Everyone I ever knew was dead and gone, and the goldfish never had a name, and the neighbors thought I was insane. And I flushed it down the toilet when I saw it floating upside down. And then back when I was 128, I'd sit outside on an old milk crate and look out at the world from the stoop across the street. The boom boxes and the hot concrete, and every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons across 9th Street. Every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons. Every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons. Every Halloween they hung a million rubber skeletons. Untutored music makes the experts look like fools. 'Cause you can tear down walls with no skill at all. Truth and feeling are the truest tools. When you see a band flailing and wailing like the gig is their last or their first, that's when you know you're gonna get a set you'll never forget, and that never ever happens when it's rehearsed. But, on the other hand, totally impeccable artists at the peak of technique and control, with a life of instruction, mind-blowing production, and a genius visionary soul. Craftsmen and craftswomen, eternal, giant, and earth-shaking, like the Colosseum or Metropolitan Museum. They are indeed universally breathtaking. So, I want to hear songs that can make me sigh, plus make me want to fight like it's do or die. A thoughtful music school nerd, or an untaught fool who insanely, absurdly plays. I want it both ways. And here's another example. Totally aggressive music makes me not want to be a wimp. Because in this world, you gotta stretch to get better than yourself. You can't just curl up and go limp. Because anyone can do self-pity. Anyone can whine and mope. But a gangster go-getter or a death metal shredder makes you want to act bold and cope. But, on the other hand, some sensitive, shy singer-songwriter types reveal true guts to me. Because I really can't stand when there's some macho band who's scared of any vulnerability. Because everyone's got secret insides. Real artists rip it all out loose. Not just about a good time. They put themselves on the line, risking embarrassment and abuse. So, I want to hear songs that can make me cry, plus make me want to fight to live free or die. Admit you're unsure, or face it with a pure, hardcore gaze. I want it both ways. Is it a contradiction to want fact and fiction? Is it greedy to like graffiti and Van Eyck? Slick disco funk and a sick punk that's drunk? I want to hear hippie-hating straight-edge skinheads. And I want to hear Purple Haze. I want it both ways. Just one way? Nuh-uh. Just the other way? Nuh-uh. Neither way? Nuh-uh. I want it both ways. Always. Yeah!